Welcome aboard, everybody. Close out that transcription window and we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome aboard, everybody. Glad to have you here, getting started for this spring semester 2024. So this is a History 1301 class, so make sure you are in the right place. And we'll go ahead and get started throughout this orientation. Feel free to open up your mic and ask any questions that you might have. But yeah, well, let's go ahead and get started. So starting with the Start Here folder, there's a number of things that you want to be aware of. Let's open up the syllabus, make sure it is the correct one. I've been known to mess up that process. Okay, yes. So this is our course with everything included here. So let's just take notice of this. It just breaks down the grades for the semester. Unit 1, 15%, Unit 2, 15%, so on and so forth. Final exam will be 25% of that. And the final exam will be based on a book called Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl. I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. You have a description of the assignments in this course, textbook, all content is made available free of charge via Blackboard. The outline for the course you can access by going through that link. And then there's some institutional stuff that you could read through on your own accord throughout the syllabus here. Just want to make sure you're aware that the syllabus is there. This is the Lockdown browser software. So open that up, download the application. And what that is simply just a browser that you'll be taking only the lecture exams in this course using the Lockdown browser. And once you have it downloaded, you don't need to really worry about it. It will prompt everything once you click begin on those lecture exams. But for all other assignments, you don't need to use the Lockdown browser. There's the writing guidelines. You'll definitely want to take a look at that, especially when you're doing written work, right? So open-ended questions for any of the video quizzes and the lecture exams. You want to consult the writing guidelines. It's simply basically saying be very specific when you're writing, right? Include relevant dates, geography, events. There you go. Welcome aboard, Maribel. And whatnot, right? Here is the mandatory online orientation exam that you'll take once you're done watching this video. I'll post the recorded video right here. I'll also send it out in Pronto once it's done processing. Right here is student technical resources and support. Lots of good things to be aware of right here. So if you're having problems with your browser, you might want to clear your cache, as they say. The help desk has a number of phone numbers to be aware of. This is a very helpful link. This is basically a collection of YouTube videos, about 1 minute long each, that will just give you information on how to upload an assignment or check your grades, all of that kind of stuff. And there's a bunch of other stuff in here just to be aware of. Let's close that on out. This right here, Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl. Let's just go ahead and open that up. So this is the book that is assigned to read to prepare for the final exam for this course. We will be having a series of meetings throughout this semester with another instructor here at South Texas College, Martha Cantu. Let me open up the document. And so we have a series of meetings all at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays that you can attend. They're not required, they're optional, but I do recommend attending them if you're able to. They will be recorded, of course, so you can watch them later. The first meeting, we will be taking a look at the introduction all the way up to chapter 6, and then you can see the rest of the meetings, the other chapters that we'll be covering. So Martha and I will be just discussing the highlights of the chapters, the characters, the writing technique, and all of that. You all that are attending have an opportunity to ask any questions or make a comment. So look for that. We'll be announcing that as we go forward in the course. Right here is the PDF for the book, so you don't have to purchase the book. It'll open on up. The entire text is available right there for you, so you could print that out or you could just simply refer to it through your browser. Right here is where you can actually order the book. You don't need to. I highly recommend ordering the book, though. It's a very good book. And it's just nice to have the thing in your hands when you're reading. You can mark it up, all of that kind of stuff, right? So That's what's available there for that. And this is what we'll be using to prepare for the final exam. Again, I'll post the specifics of the final exam about the third, maybe fourth week of the class, and you will be free to begin preparing for the final exam after that. Okay, and again, interrupt me at any point if you are needing some questions answered. Right here, you want to take, oops, let me change those due dates. These two assignments here, these are introductory videos to watch. These are the only assignments that have official due dates. I'll talk more about that in just a second. Let me advance the due dates up to the 18th. So if you weren't able to take it, you are still able to take it. And let me put that one here. And I'll change those dates in the description so you're not unnecessarily alarmed, right? So the first video you're gonna watch is, why is history important to learn, right? And so there'll be a history instructor there explaining why he thinks it's important to learn about history. I have some thoughts on that. It is important to learn about history. We could dive into that a little bit later. And then you have a video on primary and secondary sources. And this is just going to explain the difference between a primary source, which is an artifact from the historical record, right? So a newspaper, a speech, a letter written, those kinds of things. Secondary source is the textbook, documentaries, me, right? Which the secondary sources are using primary sources to create their narrative, right? And so you'll be working with primary sources throughout this course as well, right? So that's everything in the Start Here folder that you need to be aware of. Let's move on to, well, let's talk about how to get a hold of me. This is the preferred method to get a hold of me, the Pronto Messenger. So you just click that. And sometimes it takes a little while to open up. And if it takes too long of a time to open up for you, just close the browser and open it up again. Usually it opens up right away after that. So I'll go somewhere else while that's warming up. The other way of getting a hold of me is through the message tool. The problem with the message tool is I don't get those messages in real time like I do on Pronto, right? So if you message me through the message tool on Blackboard, it might take me a little while to get back to you. It's a kind of a good tool to use if you're trying to get a hold of me in the middle of the night. So after 9-ish, I put my phone away, turn it off. Feel free to still get a hold of me. You will not disturb me. My phone is off. And I'll just get back to you basically during these times here between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. That should be the other way around. So between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m., I'll try to get back to you during those times to the best of my ability. If for some reason I don't get back to you within a day, feel free to message me back. I'm not trying to ignore you. I won't find it rude. I won't find it pushy. I won't find you impatient if you message me again, right? In fact, I'll appreciate it because my intention is not to ignore your messages. You know, it could be the case I just got a lot of messages and yours kind of got lost in the shuffle by mistake. I meant to get back to you, but I just didn't. The technology didn't work. Those kinds of things can happen, but they typically don't. I usually get back to students within a few seconds. If I have class, obviously, it might take me a couple of hours. All right, so let me know if there's any questions about how to contact me. If not, we're going to move into Unit 1. So each unit is 15% of the grade, and there's a series of assignments that you need to complete per unit. So as you see here, there's Unit 1 video quizzes, the chapter text and quiz for Columbus, the Indians, and Human Progress. That's the textbook. The audiobook for the textbook, so you can listen to the textbook if you like. The lecture, Age of Conquest, that'll be your first lecture for the semester. And then as you see here, the audiobook for Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl is available. Chapters 1 through 6 is that playlist there. And that has a series, within those videos, there are embedded questions. So you'll be watching the video, the audiobook, it'll pause, you'll type in your response. Usually they're multiple choice questions, but there are some open-ended questions. If you do get an open-ended questions, let me know in Pronto. because they need to grade it manually, and then you'll receive a grade after that. So let's take a look at the video quizzes, right? So as it says here, view the video and complete the quizzes. Each video is worth 1 point, with one secret bonus video worth 20 points. So one of these is worth 20, the rest are worth 1. It's a secret. You'll just have to find out which one it is as you're going through them. So you'll start with this one and just work your way down until you've completed all of these videos, right? It's quite a bit. So kind of chunk it. You don't have to watch them all at once. The videos are, they're YouTube videos typically, so they're 5, 7, maybe 10 minutes long. And you can, it'll pick up where you left off. So if you only have a few minutes, you can respond to a few questions, come back and take it up to where you left off at. Right here is the textbook, as mentioned earlier. Let's open up the text. And sometimes it does this, and then just look for open in a new window if it happens to do that to you. If not, I could send you the link in another way, but it should open up. Here's the study guide for this. It's embedded right here. Expand it. Use these questions as a way to navigate this text here, right? So if you just try to read this without using the study guide questions, you might find yourself a little bit lost. These are there to help you. Take notes. You could use your notes on the exams are open notes. So take notes, you can use them. Okay, close that out. Here's the audiobook. This is basically a video quiz and another Edpuzzle quiz. All right, oops, I got 2 answers to grade here, so I'll check that out a little bit later. Click play, listen to the audiobook, respond to the questions accordingly. Here's the lecture. This one takes a little bit of an explanation, so pay attention to this one. Your response to this question for the orientation exam needs to be very specific, right? You should want to be as detailed as possible here. So you'll begin by opening up the lecture. You're going to notice that there are 3 prompts to respond to. What you want to do to prepare, first step, get out a notebook, write down the prompts. Learning objective 1, define the age of expansion and conquest and explain how, why, and when it developed, right? Press play, click the notes there, open up the notes. It'll open on up to the notes with the prompt there. And notice, right? So in your notes, you're writing down define the age of expansion and conquest. Well, I'll be darned. There is the definition, right? Just write that down in your notes. Then you have, it's asking you to explain how, why, and when. Well, there's the how, there's the when, or the why rather, and then there's the when. Right? And so you do that for each learning objective. There's the notes, responding to that particular prompt. You're responding to this particular prompt using this video and these notes. Once you have your notes ready, you're ready to access the lecture exam. The lecture exam is located right here, right? Let me explain these due dates in just a second here. Open up the lecture exam. And what you'll notice here, this is why it's important to write down the prompt so you know exactly what you're responding to and you can articulate that in your response when you type it, when you type your response in the provided window. It looks different for me than, oh, somebody already submitted. Wow, that's awesome. I'll get that graded soon, I'll get that graded soon, whoever submitted that. Excellent, right? So go ahead and submit your response there. Let me know that you got it submitted. That way I can manually grade it and you'll know your grade as quickly as possible. So that's the lecture exams. Any questions about the lecture exams? That's probably the most complicated assignment in this course. So do let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna go get myself a bubbly. I'll be right back. Hi, kitty. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let me make sure nobody got me in the chat here. Where am I? I don't think so. I didn't hear anything. Okay, all right, so you guys are good. Okay, and the next assignment right here, Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl. This is the audiobook for the assigned text for this course. Excellent. Somebody has submitted 28% of it. Good job. Excellent. Excellent. That's awesome. Oops. So this works like any video quiz, except it is a pretty long playlist. Again, it will pick up where you left off, so you don't have to do it all at once. You can come back to it. But yeah, this is a good opportunity to have your text right there in front of you. Read it, listen, take notes, right? And just kind of do that as you're able to throughout the semester. Once you've completed all those assignments, then you're done with the unit, right? And so as long as you've earned a 60% or higher by February 9th, you're going to be able to move on to unit 2, right? Now, there are due dates posted. I had to do that. Unfortunately, I know that's probably confusing and it's probably unsettling to see all of your assignments marked late, so I really apologize for that. That would frustrate me if I was a student. But the reason why I had to do that is the way the calculating tool works in the grade book, it won't capture your assignment unless there's a due date. It's a flaw with this system. So there's not much I could do about that. If that wasn't implemented, then you wouldn't know how you were doing in this class. And what would be particularly frustrating is at the end of the semester, you might be thinking, hey, I'm getting like a 90% in this course, but you're only doing a couple of assignments. But the total grade is indicating you're doing a 90% because it's only calculating what you completed and not bringing in the stuff that you did not complete. So adding the due dates allows for that to happen. So you can see throughout the semester what your total grade is for the unit in real time as you go forward in this course. So that's why those due dates are there. But it shouldn't preclude you from opening up any of the assignments. So the due dates you do want to be aware of is this one right here, February 9th. To complete this, you have really until February 16th to get it all completed if you need to with a 60% or higher. Now, that's a very low bar. You could really just phone it in and earn that 60%. That's not a lot of work. That doesn't represent a lot of work completed. So if you don't earn a 60%, what that indicates is that you're just not engaged in this course at this point, right? Not a big deal. It's just you will be withdrawn from the course just to save you some time, right? You don't want to get through this entire course and then realize that it's too late and you're not going to pass this course. So it's just a little safeguard to ensure that you're staying on track and you're not putting things off to the last minute, right? And you're not piling up all of these assignments. But as long as you're in a 60%, again, quite possible for everybody here if you just put in minimal effort, right? Definitely possible to earn a 70, 80, 90% as well. Any questions thus far? No? Okay. I don't think I have anything beyond that, except I can go back to why I think it's important to study history. It's a good philosophical question to explore, right? Real important question to think about. What's the point, right? It's just a bunch of dead people, stuff that really doesn't matter, really. And we're studying this, and it's, this big college class that you have all these assignments you have to do. So what's the point, right? I would respond to that in a couple of ways. One, you're going to become aware of those voices in your mind, in your head. Think about those voices. Who are those people speaking inside of your head? You hear them? Those are historical events. Those are historical individuals in your mind speaking to you, right? Think of one original thought you've ever had. I'm waiting. You've not had an original thought, right? That's no slight on anybody out there. I haven't had an original thought. Everything I think of, conceive of, comes from the past. right? And it's helpful. It's calming to be aware of those voices. That's why it's important. That's one reason why it's important to learn about history, to be aware of those voices, to hear what they're saying, to see how it's shaped you as an individual living on this planet, sharing this world, this life with all of the other living creatures. Really important to hear those voices and to give them voice, to say to them, I hear you, right? I hear you loud and clear now. The other aspect of why it's important to learn about history is um, what distinguishes us from other living creatures on this planet, the human condition, right? So what is the human condition? Not the dog condition, not the kitty cat condition, the caterpillar condition, the oak tree condition, the human condition. What distinguishes us from all other sentient, living, creepy, crawly things on this planet? Um, our awareness of our mortality is what drives us, of what moves us. We're aware we are going to perish. I don't mean to be morbid on you all, but it's something to consider, right? We're all aware of this. And not only are we aware of our mortality, we are pretty aware that it's not going to end well. It's it's typically pretty painful, long, enduring. The process of death, of decay, is long, right? You don't usually go out unless you're lucky and just get hit over the head, right? But typically, it's a long, enduring experience, and that's something that we all share on this planet, and that we're aware of it. And it's what historical individuals have all shared. And how that ties into history is that's the dynamic that moves history, right? We're all motivated by this awareness. The clock is ticking, tick tock, tick tock. It's coming. Can you hear it? Hear it. Right? It motivates people to join armies, to get involved with movements like the abolitionist movement. It gets people motivated to get involved in politics, to be involved in their community, to go to college. You know your time is limited. You want to make something of yourself. You want your existence to be acknowledged by others because you understand that this is all coming to an end. Right? This is what motivates history, what moves history, and what points to the importance of studying history. Right? So just wanted to point that out. Enough pontificating from me, right? Don't mean to bum anybody out here, especially on a nice evening like this, but just want to understand this is really serious what we're doing. I find it fascinating. I find it really intriguing. And I hope you all are able to see the intrigue, the interest, and the human condition behind all of these assignments that you're doing, right? There's a point to it. So I would be able to go on for hours if you allowed me to, but I am pretty sure you probably have bigger and better things to do, like attend to your assignments in this course. So I'll go ahead and let you at that. What you're going to want to do after watching this video is take the online orientation. Right, so take the online orientation. You can take it as many times as you need to. Use the questions within the study guide. That's the test bank. If you have a response to each of those questions, you're ready for the orientation exam. Once you do that, Unit 1 will become available to you again. Right now it is closed until you take the orientation. And other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I could stay as long as anybody needs me to, so please chime in at your leisure, and we will go from here and have a great semester.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let me know if you need anything. Yes, Andre, just go ahead and turn on your mic. I can hear you if once you.
Yeah, just to know if I understood correctly, like basically the deadlines that we have are like those big ones, like the February one and the March one, right? Like
Yeah,
the
so yeah, good question, right? So you'll notice each unit has a date associated with it. Those are the dates you want to be aware of, right?
hmm
So you'll be able to access all of the assignments anytime in this class. But if you go beyond the due dates that are indicated there, you run the chance of being withdrawn from the class if you haven't completed the assignments within the units with a 60% or higher.
Okay, so those are like the only deadlines that we have.
Yes, except for the orientation exam that you need to take and these two videos here. These actually have, let me fix that so it doesn't concern anybody. These are going to be due by tomorrow. These two little videos here that you'll need to watch to get you kind of up to speed on what it is we're doing, studying history, basically. There we go. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, if anybody else has any questions, just go ahead and turn on your mic. Hey, Desiree, how are you? Let me know if you have any questions. You just came in. That's not a problem. We've basically have finished the orientation video. I'm just hanging out to see if anybody has any questions. If you're ready, you can go ahead and take the exam. The study questions are within the Start Here folder. This, since we're just sitting here waiting, let me stop the recording